So we're live, but we're not live.
We're
Yes.
live. We're live, but we're not live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul, and we are joined by, nobody.
Oh, 1 minute. There's no one here. It's
Yes,
just us two
it is.
again.
Again, it's kind of a regular thing this now, so it's not too bad. But yes, I know this is going to sound weird for anyone who's watching on the Sunday. We're recording this on Tuesday, so
Yes.
we've just finished doing the live episode of Nerdy Up North on the Sunday, and the Monsters
Yes.
episode went live on the Monday.
On Monday.
Sam will
It's
be recording
on Wednesday.
Wednesday, and then Goodwill will be live on Friday. All that will have happened before you even watch this episode.
Yes, it's so weird. I do it on Monsters. I'm like, the live episode, oh no, wait, that was last night. And then Goodwill's, oh yeah, Goodwill's was Friday. This is all, that's all in the future now. Like, it's gone, it's past. No, it's past, not the future.
We're talking to future Sam. How are you, future Sam?
I'm futurely okay.
Future, okay. Have you watched anything in the future?
Watching aliens.
Ah, yes.
I have been doing my research ready for the next Monsters episode, which you will watch the following day after this,
Yes.
which is Xenomorph.
Xenomorph. And if anyone's a Xenomorph fan or don't know what a Xenomorph, it's basically aliens that look like a penis. There's my take.
I have some interesting takes too on that,
Yes.
especially after what I've just watched. But yeah, it's going to be a fun. Honestly, if it's anything like Wolfman, it's going to be a fun episode.
To be fair, nothing's going to be like the Wolfman. That, like, that
set a bar.
I think
The
Graham
Wolfman episode set a bar.
I think every episode now we just needed like a small cameo of Graham just to give his hot take on the premise of the movie.
Yeah, it's not how I expected it to go. After the Universal Monsters episode, I was like, oh, it's going to be great. We're all going to be like all mushy and lovey over it. And then the minute Graham started talking, we'll get, oh, okay, I see where this is going. But it's the fact that Dan agreed with him as well. I was like, all right, okay. But no, it was such a good episode. And thank you to everyone who watched.
Yes. Yes. And the Discord will talk about you's reprobates. You'll be in the chat acting yourselves like as we're talking. I'm watching you, Lee. I'm watching you, Goodwill. Beth, what's Savvy eating this evening? Chris, you goonie. And Sarah, I can say, please don't beat us.
Yes.
She wasn't very happy. Because, funny enough, though, coming, because I know we can't do, how are you, what you've been watching, because literally we've watched for all in a day, other than Aliens.
Yeah.
And I've watched Roger Rabbit by any chance. But I did, and again, like I said, just to keep on with this, I'm going to keep going with this.
Oh, right, okay. And we've got a theme now.
And the best thing about it as well, because we are recording this, Sammy won't see it.
I'm not going to be able to see it.
No. Oh, no. So Sammy's not going to know who the Goonie is. So I've been watching the Goonies again. And other than spotting Christopher, which I've put his picture up now, Sammy won't see. So you're doing the nice shuffle there because Christopher is a Goonie. We've also seen the lovely Sarah and Lee are Goonies as well. And as I got told, I got wrong for using an old photo of Sarah. I just thought it was the best photo of Sarah I could use. Sorry, Sarah. We have another Goonie that I've spotted, and I can't believe I've missed this one. And you know what? I'm going to really annoy Sam as well, because I'm not even going to name the Goonie. I'm just going to put the picture up and let it just live out its Goonie fantasy for a little while. I'm going to be honest, it's not my best Photoshop job, just because literally I've been out to the beach today and we've done some shopping and literally got in and went, right, I've got to put this together within 10 minutes. So I do apologise for the person who's in. The Photoshop isn't great, but you are now a Goonie. So yes.
It's going to be me, isn't it?
So the Goonie picture is up and it's now over with. So yes. So wow.
Wow. Okay, I don't like this pre-recorded bullshit now. Where's the live? Where's the chat?
I need your help. It's like going back to, it's like, help me chat, you're my only hope. Like going back to Star Wars references now.
It's like going back to day one.
Yes.
Like just me and you, nobody else.
It's like, shit, I have pressed record this time, haven't I? Yes.
Have you?
Yes. Gotta do this shit all again and pretend that we don't know the guests. So yeah. But saying that though, Jake did actually come up with a very good idea for us today, because you know how we have got all the episodes that a lot of the Nerdy Up North now I would like to call the Scooby Gang, shall we call them? Give them a nickname, the Scooby
Yeah, we'll
Gang.
call them the Scooby
The
Gang.
Scooby Gang, the reprobates and the nerds. They haven't seen a lot of the older episodes, so
Right.
and let's be honest, a lot of the older episodes don't look great because we didn't know what we were doing. So it was basically just
No.
recorded off Zoom, tried it and put them online. Now we've got all this technology and know-how and stuff like
Changed them.
this. I can download the old videos and
Mm.
shine them up and make them look pretty and
Oh.
re-upload them to either Facebook or, like say, other avenues as well, just to
Ooh.
showcase our oldest style and like maybe do like say ones where we've done interviews and stuff, just to show the growth we have done.
Just to show how much we've grown since them May days
Uh,
2 years ago.
yeah, not just in the belly. So like say I've grown and like say
Mm.
well, that's me, not Sam. Sam's looking beautiful as always. I don't want to offend her
Oh,
that way. I've already offended Donna. I got braid all over today as well. She wasn't very happy.
well, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Today is interesting though.
Yes. Do you want to do your disclaimer?
I do want to do my disclaimer.
Yes.
So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group or the comment section, and we will happy have an open conversation. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Well said. Well said. Yes.
Thank you.
We do try and do it. It does creep in from time to time, but yeah.
We're only human, people.
There's only so much we can do, you goddamn nerds.
So, Roger Rabbit. What made you pick Roger Rabbit for today?
I don't know. Like I say, this is going to be a shock and awe for everyone. Me and Sammy have to have social lives from time to time, and we do try and plan everything around this podcast, much to the delight of my wife.
My husband doesn't care.
Yeah, but it is one of our dear friends who's been on the podcast's 40th birthday, and even though I'll probably be the most socially awkward person there, we have to make an appearance and actually give
celebrate.
our support.
Yeah, we have to celebrate. She's one of my oldest and dearest friends. Nona, God, I don't know how long now. It's a long, long time.
And she's never aged though, bless her. She still looks the same as like
God,
she
no,
was
she's still from the day I met her up until now, that she has not changed. But I love her dearly and I can't wait to celebrate her 40th birthday. And that is what we are doing on Sunday when you guys are all watching this.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Emma. You'll probably not watch this, but happy birthday.
Happy birthday, my love.
But yeah, so it was just because we didn't have anything planned because, like say, with the podcast now, a lot of the stuff has changed. A lot of the stuff is up in the air. A lot of the stuff that we've still got a lot of stuff still planned, but we're trying to do a more generic and not overwhelming. Because, to be honest, the podcast was getting a little bit overlong at times. Like, say, I'm not saying that's anyone's fault, but
it's not a negative.
No, but we're trying to keep it more compact. So, just thought, what could be an interesting topic? And I always like when me and Sam do talk about a movie as well. Because there's like say the Clerks episode was brilliant, Clerks 3, Exorcist, Goonies, Lost Boys, Back to the Future. When we've just sat down and just broke down a movie, it's been fun. But I thought it would be an interesting one to talk about because to me, when I watched this when I was younger, it was very hard to watch. It was a difficult watch, shall we say? But and I found quite interesting as well because I made a post in the Facebook group about Roger Rabbit and saying, what did everyone think of it? Did anyone get it straight away? Because me and my friends, when we first started Roger Rabbit, didn't quite get the premise at the start.
Right.
And it was interesting to see that everyone said, oh, we loved it from the start. It's one of my favourite films of all time and stuff like that. And it is now one of my favourite films. But I remember watching it at the time because the advertisements come away. You thought it was going to be this cartoon, this zany, wacky, like themed, like cartoon, and it was the premise was absolutely out of the world. Like Disney, Warner Bros. Like every cartoon combined and come together to play out, like I say, as a movie. And this new character, which is Roger, and you thought, oh, is this going to be the next breakthrough thing? But what we got was a quite sinister, dark, adult-themed crossover that not till I got like hit as a teenager that it kind of hit home how good this movie was. And I
Yeah.
think that to me, back in the day, a lot of people felt the same way. I don't know if you felt the same way as me.
I don't think I did.
Mm.
I think my sister would be on your wavelength,
Hmm.
but I generally can't remember how I felt about, just that I knew I loved it.
Hmm.
But maybe because I was watching a lot of horror back then, that it just didn't faze me. But my sister was terrified,
Hmm.
terrified of the judge. That
Yeah.
scared her. Um, my dad dressed up for a charity event as Roger Rabbit, and that absolutely terrified her as well, especially when her father took
Hmm.
the big head off and it was him. She shit herself. Um,
Not literally.
yeah,
Michaela did not shit herself literally.
no, 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 no. But but that it really scared her. But for me, it is a one that I used to go back to quite frequently because of just how much I absolutely loved. And it probably was more the Eddie Valiant side of things that I liked more
Hmm.
than the actual cartoon side, even though
Yeah.
the cartoon side is really fun and you can't deny that.
Yeah.
But I like the Eddie Valiant
Like the
side of
gumshoe,
it.
the like the film noir aspect type thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
no, and no, I agree, and that to me has always been like a standard. Like I love the genre. I love like anything to do with like film noir, like the old like chewing the scenery, like the dame that comes in, and like they're trying to get to the bottom of like the mystery. Only thing that was missing was like, as you said, the gumshoe voiceover that you normally get
Yeah,
with.
over the top of it. But it's right up my street because I love classic, I love vintage,
Mhm.
what we would class as vintage. I love the 50s, I love by the 40s and the 50s because it was kind of like a mixed
Mhm.
era. So yeah, aesthetically it's so pleasing for me because it's everything that I love, the fashion, the
Mhm.
suits, the
Yeah,
shoes. I mean, oh,
we'll get on to
I
shoes
would
later with this film.
a lot of shoes in this, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely love that aspect of it. So that's probably why it's still, even today,
Hmm.
40 years old, still absolutely love it.
Yeah, 1988 it came out.
1988, was it?
1988, yeah.
Generally thought it was later.
It
Thought it
always
was like
like
early.
a lot of people do think it as a 90s film. Well, it's close to being a 90s film, but it was revolutionary for the time. Like there's only been, I think, again, I could be wrong about this, one other film I can remember that's done in the same vein, which was only done last year, which was the Rescue Rangers like reboot type thing, where
All right.
they used like live action and like all different types of like animation like mixed in. I think
Mm-hmm.
like other films as well have done it like before, like Mary Poppins,
Yeah.
like George's Dragon, and just to name a few. But like to do to the extent that this was done
Yeah.
was just crazy. Like the work that must have gone in, and
Mm.
I think the performances as well, because that's the one thing that you don't really get, because if you watch like the behind the scenes making of the movie or anything that's in, like you think, oh, there's a lot of special effects, but it's the practical effects, the things that they do to make the mesh like
Mm-hmm.
so impressive and like brilliant. Like something as simple as when Roger blows through the window and leaves the rabbit print, like rabbit hole on the blinds and the window. That was one
Uh-huh.
of the hardest effects that they had to pull off for like a 30-second gag, because they actually did the glass break and the fall out the exact way, and how they did it was just like they had to actually invent processes
Oh.
for it to work.
I love when movies do that. This
Mm-hmm.
is why I love watching the Jurassic Park
Mm-hmm.
Netflix one, because they were inventing stuff to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like they knew what they wanted to do, so they're like, right, okay, we're gonna make this happen. I love stuff like that. And I'm a sucker for practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
More practical the better. It's the idea of real life people talking to cartoons. That's like,
Yes.
for me, I'm sitting there going, this is generally movie magic, because
Mm-hmm.
I can't in my head,
Yeah.
even as a youngster, even now, sit here and go, how do they do that? Like there's a point where Bob Hoskins and Roger are that close to each other. They're practically touching, and it
Mm.
doesn't. You can't see like
And
the any
I think
mess
that
up.
no, definitely, I think that's like a testament to how good Bob Hoskins was.
Oh,
Like,
oh, may he rest in peace. He was such a fucking brilliant actor.
I don't think many people would have pulled off like the level that he did in this movie as well. Like it feels like that like the role was basically written for him. If you had
Yeah,
anyone like let's be honest, anyone taller, anyone better looking, anyone other like if you'd done like a proper gumshoe or like 50s movie star look, like
yeah,
it wouldn't have worked. It would have taken like a bit of the gloss away. I think
yeah.
he's raw and real because he could have overacted it as well. Like imagine,
He could have really chewed it, couldn't he? He
yeah,
could have really chewed the scenery on it. But his physical comedy
mhm.
is you can't touch it in this movie.
No, like that
That
scene
man
in the
gets flung
warehouse.
around.
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
he's bouncing.
and just his interactions with Roger as well. I know, like they actually had like a model of Roger on set, like when they were playing around and stuff. Like, and had the
Mhm.
guy that was doing his voice. I can't remember the guy's name now.
I
Um,
do have Wikipedia up just to because I just wanted to look at the voice actors more than anything.
mhm,
Roger was played by Charles Fleischer. Fleischer?
mhm. I know he's done loads of other different voice actors of like roles and stuff like that.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mhm,
he's yeah, he's a Chippendale. Back to the Future. He's been in
mhm.
part three. Yeah, he's got good credits behind his name.
But the scenes like that always jump out or stay strong in mind is like the scenes when Roger and Eddie's handcuffed together and they're trying to
Yeah.
hide from the weasels and like stuff where putting them in the sink, like trying to saw it off. Then like his little thing when he pulls his hand out, he's like, "You could have took your hand out, not any time, just at the funniest moment." And I love the idea as well, like how clever it is having someone who's investigating a crime that hates cartoons or hates toons. That's
Yeah.
just a nice and because you when you think about how can you hate a toon, but they make it with the storyline so believable that it's
Hmm.
sympathetic as well. Um, but like all the different elements, like the characters, everyone plays his part to the T, and it's just one of those movies there it's hard to fault, and that's probably one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about because I think now more than anything else, it should be getting like it's time to shine
It
because
should
it's
it should be
timeless.
it is timeless, but you would think now it should really be dated, but it's not.
Mm,
It's not dated in the slightest. I always think movies like of that caliber and in that setting as well, in that time period, will never be
mm,
like dated. There'll
no,
just be something special about it, and there's definitely something special about this. The
every
characters in it is just fantastic.
yeah, and there's moments where it's just like things that you thought this shouldn't work, like the Daffy Duck and the Donald Duck like piano scene that fight off, just
Oh, I
putting
love
that
that.
randomly in the middle of a movie for no reason. Well, for the reason of it just being absolutely entertaining as fuck, and just sitting there howling and laughing at it.
So interesting fact, and I know this is not monsters, but interesting fact.
Oh, Sammy and her factoids are coming out now.
Factoids, oh my god, I'm using them on this show.
Yeah.
Mel Blanc does the voice of Bugs, Daffy, Porky Pig,
Hmm.
Tweety, and Sylvester,
Hmm.
but they are voiced back in 1989.
Right.
So they used his voice from 1989 to put into this movie because he died in
Oh, right.
he died in 1990.
Yeah.
So it's all footage from him. So
Hmm.
how that's such a homage to him though.
Yeah.
Like they are his characters. So
Hmm.
to use them in this big massive motion picture
Hmm.
and not get a replacement in, I think's beautiful.
No, perfect. And it's nice that they've did that as well because they probably would have lost it if they used like different voice actors or not used
Yeah.
because it's a weird movie as you say because it's a cartoon, but it's as it classed as one of those as it classed as a Disney movie. That's where like say a lot of the people like confusion always does come with Roger Rabbit as well, and I know with a lot of times as well, there is a lot of different arguments that do come about with studios. Just look at the recent Spider-Man issues and stuff, at how difficult it can be to get studios to play nice. And for them
Yeah.
to allow them to use, like say, such a wide variety of characters as well in different ways, like Yosemite Sam getting blown out of like Toontown, like all varmints and stuff like that, and then like say Bugs and Mickey Mouse skydiving from that building, like having them together, that was amazing to see, and like and it's even more amazing now to think about how what they must have went through to get the permission to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, it's for us as watching it as kids, you just like, mint, Mickey and Bugs. You don't think of the fact that this is fucking iconic. That you have two of the heads of two different productions sitting next to each other. Like, it doesn't get any bigger than them two,
Yeah.
really. In when you come down to cartoons, Bugs and Mickey, they are absolutely synonymous with their own brand, and
Yeah.
have them sitting next to each other, talking to each other. Fucking mind blowing to think about it.
Especially today, because it will never happen
Yes,
again.
it would never happen again.
No.
People, I think over time, greed and money becomes a big, massive factor. But back then, I don't know. I just felt like they just wanted to make a really good fucking film.
Oh,
So I
100%.
would like to think that there wasn't a lot of negotiation going on. Like I would like to think that they're like, yes,
We've got this idea. Sign. Let's make it work.
I'll sign. I don't up until right then, I didn't even think about how massive that actually that their two interactions alone, like never like Donald Duck and Daffy Duck. That's like massive.
100%, and that's why I'll always hold this in high regard, because I've got the childhood memories of watching those kids. Anyone who grew up, like say, our age range or even younger, or if they brought up well later, if the parents didn't hate them and not show them classic cartoons, type thing. But for me, there was them elements I appreciated as a kid, but as an adult, the jokes are so amazing. Like the baby, is it Baby Herman? Herman, that's called.
Yeah.
Like the ones he pulls out is like that's not me babysitter. It's me doll. But imagine trying to be with a 40-year-old attitude with I say a baby's wiener or something like that. It's like fuck me. They said that in a cartoon.
I tell you, the one that always gets us, and I don't know why. It's not even that funny. It's where the Doom, the
Judge Doom.
It's where he's tapping and he's going shave and a haircut. And then Roger busts out going, and I can't remember what he actually sings. I can hear it in my head. Is it today?
Today, I think it's 2 bits.
I think it's
2 bits.
2 bits.
Yeah, it's like,
and he just comes busting out singing it.
Yeah.
Always get that and the weasels.
The weasels.
Funniest fucking things that are in that movie is the weasels. Yeah, see?
The proper mobs, the gangsters and stuff. But each one of them's got their own different personality as well.
Exactly. But you know what? They could have gone that ham with it. They could have gone that camp with it and had Eddie being exactly like them, like in that kind of genre, but they didn't. They toned Eddie down.
Yeah.
To not balance, to kind of balance with their campness.
Oh, definitely. And I think Bob Hoskins deserves a lot of credit for his performance as Eddie, because the character is not likable. He's basically down in his luck, an alcoholic, kind of just on the bottom type thing, but you're still rooting for him, and you kind of want to see him do well, because the people he's around see what he was or what he can be, because his girlfriend Dolores, when he tries to break up with her, say, "Oh, you should get yourself a good man," and she goes, "I've already got a good man." So it's like people see that in him, and the performance does come out with Bob Hoskins as well. But not to say, like I said, this is a hilarious and funny movie, but it's scary, and the elements that do break you, and even something as silly. If I like said to you, "Oh, you should watch this movie," and you'll get upset over a cartoon shoe going in the dip, you think that is the most ridiculous thing you'll hear. But Jesus Christ, that was brutal.
It was awful.
And to see it in the movie
awful.
theater as well, and it was just like, what the fuck am I watching? It was
Yeah,
almost like watching Hostel for cartoons.
Oh my God, it's them eyes. It's the eyes. I can't look at it. I don't know if that's not the bit that scared Michaela. The idea of dip though.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. That's brutal.
What was it, like 70% turpentine, something like that? So anything that could destroy like paint or ink was put into it, I think. So again, such a clever premise that you don't even think about, just because all the things that's going on and around it. But like as you said, if we're talking about the characters in and eating the scenery, Christopher Lloyd, start please take a bow.
Massively, like, sir, this is your show.
Yes,
he was absolutely phenomenal as the judge. It is the judge who scares Michaela half to death, and it's the end bit where obviously his voice, because I talk just like this. Because the big reveal, spoilers, is that it was the judge who killed Eddie's brother. And he was a bad tune.
He was a very bad tune, but they never find out what kind of tune he was. And just to
no, you don't.
No, and just to finalize an argument that we had on the Facebook group, Goofy is a fucking dog, because Goofy in this movie says, "Oh, yeah, he ain't no dog." So facts. Goofy ain't no cow. He's a dog.
I always thought he was a dog.
Yeah.
He's got
dog ears,
almost like basset hound ears. Yeah, I always thought he was a dog. Cow.
Yeah, someone tried to say that was a cow. Idiot.
Oh no, he's definitely a woof woof.
Definitely.
But I do like the fact that they have original characters in here.
Well,
obviously the weasels.
Yeah.
The car.
Yeah.
The fucking car is amazing. Always want a car like
a taxi
that.
cab.
Yes, loved it. The bullets.
The bullets
probably...
Apparently, you can buy them. You can buy the.
Can you?
You can buy the gun and the bullets in like a set. I've never been able to see it,
amazing.
But the whole personality, like each bullet having like, "Hey, Eddie Valiant, it's time to wake up." But then when you shoot them, they do different things as well.
Yep.
But the big gorilla, like with the monkey suit, opening like the store. He was an original character, I believe.
Yeah, and the original of all originals, Miss Jessica Rabbit.
So let's all just take a moment to appreciate Jessica, shall we? As she goes past the screen with her very voluptuous and boobalicious self. Who couldn't fall in love with Jessica?
I have never, when I was younger, because I was so into like my boys' toys, I never appreciated femalism within like my world until I met her. It was like her and Elvira were like my feminine eye opener. Like, oh, that's what my body can do.
No, nobody can do.
No, actually, it was very high standards that I have never ever been able to meet. But it was femininity that I'd never encountered before.
I've never wanted to play Patty Cake so much in my life.
Oh, and the fact that she is voiced by the fucking amazing Kathleen Turner, who is not credited in this movie.
Is she not?
She's not. No, she's not credited as the voice.
Right.
She is the voice, but she never got a credit for it. And I think that's on her. She didn't want it.
Right. Okay. Did not know that.
Not credited.
Yeah, but every scene that Jessica Rabbit is in is just breathtaking, and it's, as you said, movie magic in all the right reasons.
Movie magic. So here, Jessica Rabbit's voice was performed by Kathleen Turner, but her singing voice is performed by Amy Irvin.
Right.
And only Irvin got the credit.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So yes, it was one thing I always remember when it would come down to like interesting facts about Roger Rabbit is that Kathleen Turner never got credited for it.
I just knew it was me love of redheads started from this moment.
I think it's where a lot of male fantasy came when it came to redheads, because she is the ultimate redhead.
Oh, definitely.
The ultimate. And how does she keep that dress on? I'll never understand.
Well, there comes to an urban myth with that one.
Oh, okay.
Because, like with a lot of the Disney movies as well, there was like some urban myths that were true, and some urban myths that were completely fake. The urban myth that was true was on the Rescuers movie when they're going down the flight with
Yeah.
a thing. One of the windows actually has a photograph of a naked woman because one of the
Yes.
Disney employees had been let go, but told to finish the work for that day. So they did. They put an image in that. I believe it's been since taken out. But
I think it has been, but I have seen the original because people look. I own it on VHS. The likelihood is it's probably on there too.
Possibly because it wasn't found out until people got it on like Blu-ray and DVD where they can go through it by frame by frame.
Like HD, and it's like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah, what's that in that corner in that there? But yes, there was an urban myth about Jessica as well. That when she fell out the taxi cab with Eddie and when he drives through the dip, that when her skirt comes up and her legs become akimbo, you could see the colour of her drapes. But that was fake. That was just fake news, and I think it was just some perverts or some goodwills online, shall we say, doing their own little spit takes and editing certain things in there that was never there. I can confirm through vast research. Vast research. That was not true. That was never in the cut of Roger Rabbit, unfortunately. Or fortunately, shall we say.
Unfortunately. But she is a fantastic character.
Yes.
Very much. I just love the fact that like Roger is like the love of our life.
Yeah, just because she makes them laugh. And that's
Yeah.
how us chubby lads do it. We'll get the girls to laugh and to stay with us. So if Sam's mum ever watches, please, I'll make you laugh. I promise.
God. It's not even a live show and she still gets a mention.
Of course, always. I've got a gimmick. I've got to stick with it. It's the only thing I'm doing well.
Oh, you keep at it. You keep working it. I'll just sit back and watch it.
Now that's getting creepy now.
Yes. I'll move on. Jessica's boobs. Anyway.
Yes. Gravity defying gravity.
Yeah, definitely. She's such a brilliant character. It's the high heels for me because I've never been able to wear heels ever. And I used to pretend that my roller boots were her high heels because I was mint on my roller boots. Not so much now, as we learned last year.
I was going to say we're going to get Sammy on skates and video.
Well, my sister bought me some last year for my birthday, and I thought, oh, do you know what? It's like riding a bike. I used to be on these all the time as a kid. This is easy. Put them on, and I fell straight on my face. But I can walk. I can walk on the stud part,
right?
And I used to do that all the time. I didn't have a lot of places to skate where I lived, and especially in my back garden. So I used to always walk on the stud, and I used to pretend they were Jessica Rabbit's high heels.
Oh, very nice. So.
No, very sad, Paul, is what you've tried.
So we should set a challenge, really. So it's a little bit early for this SunnyCon. So next SunnyCon, if we get let's say 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel,
right?
Sammy should cosplay as Jessica Rabbit at SunnyCon.
Okay, I'll accept that challenge. 10,000 by next SunnyCon, and I will cosplay as Jessica Rabbit.
Cool.
Promise.
Got that live. No take-backs.
No.
Cool.
I'll go the full hog.
Full hog. Now, I don't know where to go with that. It's just getting us a little bit excited. So I better give us a moment there. So yeah. But yes.
Bob Hoskins.
Yes. Or the Jessica lookalike that we find out when when Bob or Valentine goes into the apartment and you see this poor woman shows here and she gets so excited, man! And she just flies through everything. But they did her dirty, bless her.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a Robert Zemeckis
Yes, yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Did not know that. There's a lot I did. There's a lot I thought I knew about this
Hmm.
because I know the movie back to front.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to watch it in advance. I know exactly. Like it's a rarity,
Hmm.
and we know because I don't watch a lot. But Roger Rabbit
You're
was one
getting
that
better. You're
was.
getting better.
I
I'll give you
I'm
credit
getting
though.
there.
I'll give you credit.
Thank you. I know a lot won't, but yes. So I do know this one back to front, but there's so many things I'm learning.
Hmm. It's just as you said. It's everything that you watch, or if I'm not one of those ones that likes watching how they done it or the making of. Like I went to Harry Potter World down in Watford, and it spoiled a
Hmm.
little bit of the magic. I know it's joking aside,
Oh.
but you see like how the potions, like it's all mechanicalized, and how they get you to ride the broomsticks, and how the
Hmm.
sets were built, and how it's like how the shoot that's only you see parts, so it takes a little bit of the magic away.
Oh.
And again, like it's like the magician's tricks. If you know how it's done, it kind of it takes that element away. But with this, a lot of the actual practical effects were actually done in the way
Hmm.
that you see it. Like I know they can't
Yeah.
get a live action cartoon, but like Bob Hoskins,
Oh,
bless
but
him,
if it could.
gets thrown across the room. Like Christopher Lloyd, not him, but like say that like a blow up doll of him gets squashed by a steamroller. Like it's great to see the practical effects
Hmm.
and like the reactions and how hard the others have to work to just to like pretend that, like say Jessica's dancing in front of you and like almost drooling at the thought of this absolutely sex symbol doing a Marilyn Monroe impression
Yeah.
in front of you, and like playing that out and seeing them performances and seeing them doing it to like space or a tennis ball on a stick. It's absolutely brilliant in how they do, because that's basically how they get the eye lines right and
Yeah.
get everything spot on. But it's just um, it, so impressive and enjoyable. And now, when you get the jokes, because some that when you watch them as a kid, you think, "Oh, I don't get that," but then when you're older, you go, "Oh, I
Yeah.
get that now." I wish,
Yeah. You're laughing for the wrong reasons when
yeah.
you're a kid. You just don't quite get it yet. But as an adult, you're like, oh shit. Yeah, got that one.
So, what would you say your favorite part of the movie like was,
Oh
or like
God.
bits that stand out for you?
Um, Donald Duck and Daffy Duck's fight off.
Hmm.
Friggin' hilarious. Um, the oh God, the hang on, let's think. It's I love I love Eddie in the bar
Hmm.
with when you first meet the judge. I think I love that scene because obviously the weasels and everything. I don't like the bit with the dip, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, the weasels in the apartment.
Yeah.
That is some funny shit.
Hmm.
Absolutely hilarious shit. Anything to do with that cabin, Eddie. There's
Hmm.
so like this. There's not a lot in here. I can't say I don't. I love the opening with the
Yeah.
cartoon, the actual cartoon.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I've just read as well the graffiti in Toontown bathroom reads for a good time called Alison Wonderland. The best is yet to be.
Oh wow.
Ah,
Wow.
yeah.
Alice has been
And
done dirty here.
yeah, and apparently the fight off between Donald and Daffy was with their actual cartoonists.
Right.
So it was the actual the people who actually were drawing them at the time
Hmm.
of when the movie was made. They were doing the battle.
Right.
So they were doing the drawings for the battle. It was so. I've just been reading about it. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh.
They were they were battling it out in
Hmm.
pencil, in paper, and yeah, they
Oh,
allowed
that's
them to
fair.
do that. I thought it was fun.
No, perfect. Like, and like I said, that's how clever like this shit was. And
Hmm.
what a lot of people do have to remember as well, this was before. Like, I know there probably was a few computers involved, but this was before we got the computer levels, or like to use the things. A lot of this would have been painstakingly hand drawn on film as well.
Is this called stop motion?
Stop motion, yeah, some of it would have been, yeah.
Oh, look at me, Goodwill. Look at me. Twice in a row, I'm getting two production things right. Yes.
And to the level that they did it as well, it doesn't miss a beat. Like like again can't wax lyrical how good this movie is, and
it's in
ahead of
it's
its
you
time.
massively, and you're in awe at the fact that all you're looking at there is just paper going over the top of each other. It's absolutely crazy to get your head around. What's your favorite bits?
Probably I love the face off, like the final battle, like where Eddie makes the weasels laugh, and you find out that it's
Stop
weasels
laughing.
the weasels laugh themselves to death,
Yes.
and they all die in the most like horrendous way, like falling off in the dip, like and all going off to like cartoon heaven as well, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. And like the big gang leader of the weasels flicks the lever so it goes in, but the face off between Eddie and like say the Judge Doom as well is just like mesmerizing on all different levels, just because you see Eddie embracing the tunes, using things like a musical sword, where the song's a singing sword, and that's just like it's witchcraft.
Is it Harry Connick Jr. who's singing? Is that?
Possibly.
I think that's who it's like aimed to look at, like as well, Frank Sinatra or something like that. But I forgot about that dancing where the big musical thing starts playing, and he's like gets an idea, and he starts thinking along the lines of tunes.
But then he uses the giant magnet, and that backfires on him. Then he uses the putting the hole on things to get out. And when you see like Doom, like Judge Doom, being flattened and coming back up, and the realization as well, because this is before big twists. Like this is before M Night Shyamalan start coming along and twisting every little thing. So movie twists weren't really a big aspect to things. People used to tell stories A to B, and you just go, "Oh, that was a good film. That was a good story." But I was like, "Oh, you think it's over? It's not." And it turns out, like say, he was the main bad guy that basically killed Eddie's brother.
With his
And
high pitched voice.
and his red eyes that turn to daggers as well when he gives them. They look like daggers.
Eyes popped out.
Yeah,
I can still hear. I can hear the blow because he blows himself up, doesn't he? Because he's flat.
Yeah.
And he blows himself up, and I can still hear the pop, 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 and then his eyes come out.
I think you were tempted to blow on your thumb as well, but you didn't want to give people that mental image.
Absolutely, I know the kind of people I'm dealing with.
Sorry, guys, you almost got like a screenshot there.
Almost, not quite.
Not quite.
I know you people.
Lee would have been photoshopping all over that.
You probably would have.
Potentially. I was always a little sad as well. We didn't get like any type of spin-offs or any play from this, because this was Roger's only outing, wasn't it? Other than
we got a cartoon, didn't we? Wasn't there a Roger Rabbit cartoon?
I don't think so. I think it was like a short before a movie.
Right. Who Framed Roger Rabbit cartoon? Let's have a see. I'm sure. Wasn't there a cartoon?
I don't think so. I might. I'm happy to be made wrong. I'll go and.
No, I don't think you are. I think this is his only outing. If you Google Roger, it just comes up with the film.
Yeah, because I thought Roger Rabbit there was a short possibly before a big release where they did like a Roger Rabbit short.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm surprised they didn't cash in on that, like because the merchandise and everything. I know, like even if you try and get like a Roger Rabbit Funko Pop, it's quite difficult to get your hands on. I had to get mine from fucking Australia.
Jesus, you will go to lengths, won't you?
Yeah, well, my wife went there, so she kind of picked it up on the way. So
right. I'm kind of glad they didn't though. Like in hindsight, because I don't want it to be oversaturated with Roger Rabbit stuff to where the movie just becomes. Can't be asked with it.
I would love to see the same, but I could never say I don't want more Jessica. Like if you couldn't put Jessica in anything, I'll put Jessica in Friends, Jessica in The Goonies, Jessica in Child's Play,
Jessica in Scream.
just have like I say, Jessica Rabbit cameo in every like aspect, or just in life. But she wasn't the only sex bomb that was like portrayed in Roger Rabbit as well, and I think I was glad that they went there with this as well, because we got the old Betty Boo cameo as well, because that was such a lovely
nightclub.
Like, hey Eddie Valiant, boo boo ba doo. Can't do
She
Betty
does
Boo.
get over. She does get Betty Boo does get overlooked a lot. But she used to have her own little section in Universal Studios back in the day.
I think she still does. Like, say if
Does
you, she's got
she?
her own little store, and
Oh,
and Betty does walk around because my dad followed her around. Like, not saying my dad's creepy or anything. Well, my dad is creepy, but um, he did stalk Betty Boo for a little bit.
I bought 2 lunch boxes in Florida. Never used to use them, but I wanted them for display. I got an I Love Lucy one,
Right.
which I believe my sister still has.
Why does your sister
And
have all your stuff?
I don't know. I don't know why she's got me Lucy tin. It was a tin, and it was a TV, and the handle was an antenna. That was the aerial.
All right.
And I got a little heart shaped Betty Boo one,
Very
and it
nice.
was I used to love her,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I think I would appreciate her more now than what I did back then.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the list of characters as well. Mind
Mm-hmm.
they did not skimp
No, no,
on characters.
no. Like, especially the end scene where it all come through the like, because spoilers, the good guys win, bad guys lose. Um, Doom gets melted into the dip, and like,
Yeah,
sorry.
so it's not just no, sorry, it's not just Warner Brothers and Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's MGM cartoons,
Right.
which okay, this is gonna I didn't know this. Droopy Dog,
Mm-hmm.
Spike from Tom and Jerry,
Right.
Meathead Dog. Okay, and then you've got the Fleischner Studios, which is Betty Boop,
Mm-hmm.
Coco the Clown,
Right.
Whiffle Piffle. Then you've got Famous Studios,
Right.
which is a Joker, the Harley Quinn Jack in the Box logo from the Novel Tunes and Harvey Comics.
Right.
And then you've got Terry Toons.
Didn't Warner Brothers buy out them? I see, because I know didn't they have something to do with Barbera or something like that as
Well,
well?
I'm going to guess so because the last one on the list, well, there's Columbia Pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and there's Universal Pictures, Wildlands Productions, and that's Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you got RKO Pictures, which is obviously RKO Studios,
Mm-hmm.
and Felix the Cat.
Yeah. I didn't. I think was Felix the Cat just like a telephone? I think they used. I can't remember. Can't remember seeing
In
Felix.
in a photo and on a keystone of the tunnel that leads to Toontown.
Ah,
Good eye, Paul.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that I mean, it probably has changed hands like from that, like as of now.
Yeah, but
back then, this was all their property. That's
so
crazy.
basically, this is what the Avengers stole the idea from. The Roger Rabbit is the cartoon Avengers.
No, he's the Nick Fury.
Is the Nick Fury, right?
He's the Nick Fury.
Yes,
yeah, he gets them all together.
So this is the end game of the Toontown of Disney films.
Pretty much. That end scene though, where they're all together.
Yeah.
What's the song that's singing?
Do 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 do. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. No, you were there. You were there. Smile. You know this whole world is a great world after all. Yes.
It was pretty cheesy, but like as soon as what made me laugh when I watched it back, and again it's probably like intentional as well, is when the dip machine, like the machine that's then now been out of dip, breaks through the wall and gets hit by the train going one way. And it says smiling. You see the sun with the glasses and everything, and everyone's smiling.
Yeah.
And then there's a little, I think, a wolf doing the old thing, going the opposite way of where the trains has come from. So it's like, wait there, surely that's just been hit by the train, or otherwise, I think. So it's kind of like a little timing joke, I think. Which you wouldn't get if you weren't like paying close attention type thing.
Yeah.
But it's just a little silly thing that what they used to do in cartoons and stuff back in the day, where the sensible stuff didn't matter or like anything like that. But that's the whole joke throughout this movie as well. Like the fact at the start where Roger's getting shit on because he can't make stars appear when he's getting a bridge dropped on him. So he's hitting himself over the head. He's like, okay, I can get stars and there's plants, then there's bells. And the playback at the end, and then he's been hit over the head, he's going, oh, look, stars.
Yeah, they call back to like things from at the beginning of the movie that you've potentially already forgotten about. It's a clever clever movie. And I know we've had movies where we've had real life people interact with cartoons. Bugs Bunny being another one in Space Jam, but it
We can't
doesn't
talk about
have.
Space Jam because I don't believe I can fly anymore.
Oh, it's ruined it for everyone.
Oh, Kelly, you're a
Yeah,
dick.
dick. But I don't believe that it has the same magic, and that's
No.
it might be a generational thing
Yeah,
because
totally. Because I know Jake's a big fan of Space Jam.
yeah, and I know my sister is, so I think and like it probably is a generation thing, but I don't think any movie can touch this one when it
No.
comes to live action with cartoons.
No, definitely, and that comes from Sammy, who loves Bill Murray more than she loves her life.
It's
So,
very true.
and he,
It's very true, and I know he's in Space Jam, but I'm sorry, Bob Hoskins wins this one.
yes, it was very a strange cameo of Bill Murray, but MJ, bless
It's
him, he
that's
tried to
Bill. That's
act,
Bill Murray all over that role. That's Bill Murray all over, just weird ass cameos.
especially in Ant-Man and Quantum Media. Wow, I still don't
Yeah,
understand his cameo on that.
I just don't understand why he was there. We didn't, and this is coming from me. We didn't need him.
No. So, would you do a sequel to this now? Because has enough time passed where we could
Yeah,
take
yeah, because
another trip to Toontown? Like, would we see a Monday with its like CGI characters interacting?
absolutely. Only because we've not been oversaturated in the past with sequel after sequel after this, after that. It was a standalone. I think you could revisit it right now and bring in a whole different generation into not just cartoons of now, but cartoons of then. Like I love the fact that my godson is watching old cartoons.
Yeah.
And appreciating old cartoons. Like I know some of them are very dated. And I understand that they don't get shown the ones that are not appropriate for our times, but I still love that magic of what them cartoons can do.
Yeah. Takes you away. It's like escapism. And remember as well, a lot of them cartoons were only 5-6 minutes long. And as well, that was the fun element to them. What time phase what era would you set this movie in if you'd done a sequel?
90s.
The 90s.
The 90s.
Right. Okay.
Don't know why. Actually, maybe I do. 90s had some decent cartoons.
Yeah. So it would have like because
the raccoons.
The raccoons would be in, yeah. Interesting take.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hideous.
Yeah. I think because I think what works for this movie is the time zone it's set, the era it's set in is basically so the gumshoe and everything like that. So if you were going to do it now, you couldn't do the film noir feel, but it would have to be a different story altogether or a different take altogether. So I think I could potentially class Space Jam as an actual sequel to this because it had not because it was all Warner Brothers. It never had any Disney characters in.
No,
in
that. It was just all Warner Brothers.
Yeah, because then Space
all
Jam
Bugs.
2 had like all the different, like even Batman and
two?
stuff like that. Yeah, Space Jam 2 it had LeBron James in.
Oh, is that a recent thing?
Yeah, it came out during lockdown.
Oh, right. No, I've never seen it.
No, it's disappointing. It just didn't have the magic as well. But if they're going to do like a big one with all the different characters in it as well, because we haven't even touched on the main like plot of this film is basically that Doom wants to modernize Toontown with freeways, gas stations, malls, like basically all the things that came about like after the 40s and stuff had happened. So basically, what his vision came about. So what would be the vision now? Like, would it be like global, global warming or climate change
Jesus.
it's
Doom's way of thinking is very much the same as how things going right now with the way like especially in the UK how many fields are being taken over by fucking houses being built like it's still there. They're still wanting to build. Oh gosh, you are asking the hard questions today, aren't you?
Well, we're not live, so we've got to have some thinking towards it.
I know. God. Well, the 80s was quite boombastic, wasn't it? It was very like everything was kind of there was new money, should we say?
Interesting. So change it slightly, and probably this will probably get Graham excited. But like say the thought of doing it in the 80s, but changing the country, doing it not in America, but having like a sequel to Roger Rabbit in the UK with UK cartoons and UK topics. Like if you're doing it in the 80s as well, like Thatcherism, like all the shit that's going on, like Tory Britain wanting to kill the working class. Sorry.
Nothing's really changed. Did we just get political?
But having that like say kind of element, but if you're going to keep it like the same themes, like that might work. But having like UK cartoons and stuff.
Do we have very many cartoons?
Like the Beano one stuff coming to life. The Dandy.
I was going to say, do we have enough? Oh God. I didn't like them in comic book strip. I definitely ain't gonna like them on the I think you need to keep it with the Americans.
Right.
This is the one thing that's I'll be happy for them to keep is the cartoon side of it. Yes, absolutely. Oh God. I wouldn't want to see it in now times. That's all. I wouldn't want to see it. I don't want to see it as today, because then we're not you're going to use cartoons of now, and that's not my like. But then again, you're trying to pull in a younger younger generation. Then maybe you are going to need that style of cartoonage to bring them in, because it's so different, like to what we were used to.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hate on the new style as well, but there was actually an interview I read with a cartoonist. And there's a reason why they do things in certain ways, which I never thought about it now, like compared to what I did, because we had like things like cartoons like Thundercats, He-Man, like everything kind of like drawn out to where there was almost photorealism at times, like, especially with backgrounds, like even like the likes of Scooby-Doo to a degree. Like if you watch any of the backgrounds or like the sets for Scooby-Doo, it's art. It's not. Like say, it's phenomenal, like set pieces. But now they've kind of simplified it, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's not as good as it." But the reason is they want to get more younger kids into drawing. So if they're drawing it simpler, and the kids are replicating and not find it as hard to draw, it's like their gateway into that world,
into actual art. Yeah, because you don't. I like that. I like that idea that it's simplifying, but isn't sometimes simpler just better? Like, look at some of the backdrops in certain cartoons. They're so simplistic that it works. Lion King is a prime example of how simple the backdrop is on that. I love the idea of that, though, of some way of getting, because there is some cartoons out there that are just too over the top.
Yeah.
Like,
too much of a sensory overload. Like for me, Adventure Time, like a lot of people do like it, but I could never get away with it. But that's probably because I'm an old fart.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking of like Teen Titans, and I'm trying to think of shit my nephews used. Ben 10. My nephews used to be obsessed with Ben 10. That was too much for me. That is just that's not my kind of cartoon. That's not Bugs Bunny singing, Flight of the Valkyries. Was it Flight of the Valkyries? I'm trying to think. That was one of my favorite episodes.
But that opens up an interesting question as well, because like different cultures and stuff as well, because then does it bring anime into the argument? Would you bring that like artwork or that storytelling into like Roger Rabbit with Disney, with Warner Brothers, with Hanna-Barbera? It does open a quite interesting take. A lot of different interesting possibilities. It's just if someone's got the balls and the ideas to do it, I certainly won't have the ideas. I know we all like to pull a rabbit out of the hat and think of some good ideas.
We know the shits,
yeah, but I wouldn't be able. Like that's probably above my pay grade to even try and fathom out. But it would be an interesting take. I wouldn't be disappointed or sad if they revisited this type of storytelling, because it can be magic, as Roger Rabbit has shown.
Yeah, it certainly can, and it can move in a generation. It can you can do it. I believe you could do it to where you could incorporate the past and the future and make it work. I would only say that because we only have Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing in the interim just to the point where I'm like, no, it's been done to death, mate. Like but it hasn't. It really hasn't.
No. But
I
I think that's probably down to more the work that has to go into it, because to make a normal movie and to make an
yeah,
animated movie, both are hard work, and mix them together, it must be painful. Like, and a labor of love
absolutely.
as well. You would have to absolutely love what you're doing to
Yeah.
actually make it a success as well.
I think if I remember rightly about an interview with Bob Hoskins, he said this is one of the most favorite movies he's ever done.
That's
Ever
crazy.
done. But Michael Caine said exactly the same thing about the Muppets.
Mm.
Muppets Christmas Carol is one of his most favoriteest of favorite films. He loved every second of it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to leave in the end.
He's still playing Scrooge with his kids.
You're talking about voice changes. That's and the fact that they did keep Mel Blanc's voice, because it is noticeable when voices change within cartoons. Not you could possibly get away with it as it being, but you there's something about that original voice that you can tell. And I know it's Ant when he listens to Miss Piggy now, and he doesn't like it because it's not Frank Oz.
Yeah.
And he wets himself laughing over Muppets Christmas Carol because of Frank Oz's voice as Miss Piggy. So, and he can actually tell the difference. I can't. I cannot hear it.
So we're finding Ant's kinks now as well,
Kinks.
Live on the
Miss Frank Oz and Miss Piggy. What a combination. But yeah, I'm still mind blown over the fact that they managed to use his voice, even though he'd been dead for nearly 8 years. But I love it. I love that's a level of, but it's a level of commitment though.
Yeah.
It's not skirting around things.
No.
It's going in and taking. Then that's all they would have done is taken words from probably hundreds and hundreds of archive that they have, work that they have from him, and mixing it in. That would have taken fucking forever. The level of work that it went into this movie, I just don't think gets appreciated.
No, and that's why every so often, again, picking a movie like this, because a lot of people do love the movie, a lot of people do think about the movie, but how many times does it get brought up in conversation? How many times? I think it's hit a few of our top fives in the past, but not as many as people probably think. But hopefully, I'm not saying people will do this or that influential. If people watch our podcast, or even just see our thumbnail for Roger Rabbit, or see a picture of Rabbit, to go, I've not watched that in 5-6 years, or I've not watched it in 10 years, I'm going to watch it tonight. Yeah. And you get to appreciate it all over again, or they'll show the kids it, and then a new generation is being passed on to it as well. And there's so many movies like that I get excited about, like Ghostbusters is one. Goonies, of course, Stand By Me when they're a little bit older, because there's bad words used in that. But there's so many movies and that you get excited to pass on and give it to a new generation. And I think Roger Rabbit is up there with one of the movies that should be passed on to everyone's child.
It will definitely be something that I give to my godson. I can't wait for my godson to be, I mean, he's only 18 months, but I can't wait for him to be older and I can start pushing all my influences on him. Look, let's go watch Star Wars. I tried with them. I got him an R2D2 teddy. I'm getting him Hedwig teddies. I'm slowly sneaking in the nerdism. He is the future of nerd.
That's the thing though, as well, because we're not the future of nerd now. We're past it now.
We are the past of nerd. Yeah. We are the nostalgia of nerd. We're vintage.
Yeah. Just don't try and everyone's took us out of the box. We have both been very played with.
Even though it's recorded on a Tuesday, guys, you're still getting Sunday smut.
Yes, they'll never change. They'll always keep the standard that high, shall we say?
Oh, absolutely. We've got to give the Discord crew what they need, what they want.
Yes. So they've been doing the little random messages to each other all the way through this, no doubt. But yes, I know it's not going to, it'll probably disappoint them. It's not going to be a long episode today, guys.
No.
But sometimes it doesn't have to be. Sometimes little short ones can fill the space.
fill the space up, and we've got plenty to come.
Yeah. And don't forget, Sarah will be back on soon, so don't worry, you'll have another 3 hour soon.
Yes. What is next Sunday?
next Sunday. I'll tell you now. So yes, because I know Goodwill will be live this week. I don't think he's got a guest on Friday.
No, I don't believe it. Just and bearing in mind, my source was Graham, so this could be wrong, but I'm sure he said he didn't have a guest.
Oh yes, the week after we are I'm excited about that one because we are going into the new month, which is June. We have the fabulous Lauren joining us with Jake, and we're doing top 5 comic book characters.
Oh, the comic book crew's back together again.
Yes,
we did Free Comic Book Day together.
Yes, so us 5. So it'll be the Marvel girls versus the DC boys.
Yep, that's right. Back together. That'll be a fun one. Monsters this week is on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday.
Yes.
Is Xenomorph.
Do you want to do it a bit earlier this week because with everyone being off work?
We'll go 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. I'll put live at 6 o'clock.
It's live at 6 o'clock, guys. I'll tell you all, and it'll be in the Discord and it'll be on the Facebook group. But yeah, we'll go a little bit earlier with 6 o'clock just for the Bank Holiday Monday. Goodwill's trekking on Friday. Yeah. The guys are twitching at some point, I believe.
I don't know. They're just madmen. They do what they want when they want it type thing. But yes, so this will be premiered on Sunday at 7:30. Then we'll be back the week after, and you can tell Sammy's really excited because she's basically planned out every episode of Monsters up until fucking December.
Up until December. I am all planned out, and I've got December free so I can have a look and see some Christmassy monsters.
Christmassy monsters. The Krampus. Yes.
Krampus, definitely. Yeah. But I am on next Sunday, but I am not on the following Sunday.
Yeah, it's just fucking off on holiday.
I won't be here. I will be on holiday.
Because we'll be talking about you gotta catch them all.
Thank God she's not here. Because if you've seen us kind of interact on episodes where I've had a bit of a blank face. Mm-hmm. This one definitely would be. I have no fucking clue.
I think
I've managed to skirt past on some before, but that one I can't.
Yeah. Then I think we've got the Labyrinth for review after that, so there'll be lots of singing. There'll be a lot of dancing.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
There'll be a lot of crotches in people's faces. And tune in as well. Don't forget, guys, find out who's going to be the next Goonie.
Ooh, I'm going to
Could be anyone. These are all up for grabs. Goddamn Goonies.
I'm going to have to watch. But yes, thank you. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you for always joining us, even if we're not live.
Yes. So follow us on everything that we've got. Please like this and like and subscribe and share this video as well. Goodwill keeps telling us we have to say that.
Yes, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. You know, the comments help with the algorithm. We are on iTunes and Spotify for not just the live one, Monsters on there, Star Trek's on there. If you can, please leave a rating or a review. It just helps other people to find us. It helps the algorithm get picked up and other people to come and join our nerdy, crazy madness.
Certainly. So same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.